Ladies and gentlemen, we are ready to begin the processional. As a courtesy to the graduates and guests, please silence all mobile devices. Also, please know that Grad Images is taking professional individual photos that will be made available to all graduates electronically. In addition, this commencement ceremony is being live streamed and a link is available in your digital program.
Then I'll be up there.
Okay.
The students are lined up.
Perfect. You got this.
are an eagle. We are eagles. Eagles rise above. We are fearless, up with the sun, in the sky, and soaring higher. We take wing on the legacy of explorers, adventurers, pioneers, travelers, leaders, and groundbreaking innovators. We dig in, we give it all, and then we give more. We dream it, we plan it, we build it, and we challenge the way it's always been. If you can fly it, craft it, or lead it, we have done it. And our number is growing. Our reach is extending. We are launching from every state and more than 140 countries. We are the industry leaders, the forerunners of excellence, the best, the only, and we are just getting started. We are number one in the classroom, online, in the sky, and beyond. We are competing to brand new heights and bringing business, engineering, medicine, and flight across the globe and into space. Your dedication and resolve made we possible. We are united as Embry-Riddle alumni. We are eagles, and we are taking flight.
Ladies and gentlemen, please rise for the processional. The processional is led today by our mace bearer, Miss Anne-Marie Ade, Associate Professor of the Practice for the College of Arts and Sciences and Faculty Senate Speaker. Miss Ade is carrying the ceremonial university mace. Now entering are the candidates for Master, Baccalaureate, and Associate degrees. Our faculty is following the candidates for degree. Now entering is the platform party. Ladies and gentlemen, please remain standing for the singing of the national anthem by Miss Lindsay Kaminsky.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Please be seated. Thank you, Ms. Kaminsky. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Henry Ponciano, and I'm the Dean of Students at Embry-Riddle Aeronautical University Worldwide Campus. On behalf of the Platform Party and the faculty, it is my distinct honor to welcome you to the 2025 Commencement Ceremony here in Daytona Beach, Florida. At this time, I would like to introduce you to our stage guest this morning. Please hold applause until everyone has been recognized. Members of the Platform Party, please stand and remain standing as I call your name. Ms. Anne-Marie Aide, Associate Professor of the Practice for the College of Arts and Sciences, Faculty Senate Speaker, and today's Mace Bearer. Reverend David Keck, Chaplain. Mr. Ed Mueller-Trombley III, Registrar. Dr. Alexander Cieslak, Dean for the College of Arts and Sciences. Dr. Bettina Murasek, Dean for the College of Aviation. Dr. Manish Sharma, Dean for the College of Business. Mr. Brent Walter, President and CEO of JetLinks and our commencement speaker. Dr. John Watrett, Chancellor for Embry-Riddle Worldwide Campus, and Dr. P. Barry Butler, University President. Please be seated. At this time, please stand as Reverend David Keck comes forward and offer the invocation.
Well, good morning. It is indeed a good morning. The weather's not the best, but it's always good to be gathered with people who have a common purpose, to learn, to receive an education, prepare for amazing careers. You guys have been working hard for many years. It's a great day to celebrate. Been working hard in different parts of the country and the world, and we're gathered here in one place. So I think it's appropriate to give thanks. The invocation is about giving thanks. At the end of the invocation, I will say, let all God's children say. Invite you to respond, amen. Let's give thanks. Thank you, dear Lord. This is a day which you have made. We rejoice and are glad in it. We thank you for all those who have made this day possible. We thank you for family members who provided so much support, the spouse who said, I'll take the kids tonight while you study. We thank you for the kids who said, yeah, go ahead, Mom, you need to do what you need to do tonight. Thank you for so many people in the home who made it possible. Thank you for friends who provided support, provided encouragement. We thank you for the faculty, the staff, hard at work to prepare these men and women, to train them and prepare them for many years of service ahead. Above all, we thank you for the graduates here today. You have equipped them and trained them and brought them to this moment, and you are getting them ready for some amazing things in their future. Continue to guide them. Continue to bless them. Continue to inspire them with your hope and your love and your courage. And let all God's children say, amen.
Please be seated. Thank you, Reverend Keck. It is now my pleasure to welcome to the podium Dr. John Wattrette, Chancellor for Embry-Riddle University Worldwide Campus.
Good morning, graduates, family, friends, and guests. We are truly thankful to be together this day of celebration. Graduation is the most anticipated event of the year, not just for the feeling of excitement that comes with completing your degree, but to recognize that each of you is here today because of your commitment and determination to push yourself forward for greatness. Like all of you, in 1926, two men aspired to greatness: T. Higbee Embry, an entrepreneur, and John Paul Riddle, a barnstormer, launched the Embry-Riddle company that taught flight, specialized in airmail delivery, and coordinated aircraft sales. After a series of mergers and acquisitions, the Embry-Riddle company can be traced to what is now known as American Airlines. After the merger, Embry-Riddle did retire, but Riddle, whose passion for aviation was unwavering, found a new opportunity. He took on a new partner, John McKay, and together they established the Embry-Riddle School of Aviation in 1939, located in Miami, Florida. As a school of aviation, it thrived and grew, but as often happens throughout history, war interrupted. When Pearl Harbor was attacked, Riddle and McKay knew what they could offer. Without hesitation, they put their full support behind aiding the Allied war efforts by training cadets to be pilots and by providing mechanics and technicians. They also established a presence in São Paulo, Brazil, in support of related efforts. Eventually, Embry-Riddle became one of its first institutions approved to educate veterans under the GI Bill. It wasn't until Jack Hunt was named president in 1963 that the school, then named Embry-Riddle Aeronautical Institute, moved from Miami, Florida to Daytona Beach. In fact, in 1965, the move took place over a single weekend known as Operation Bootstrap. 31 trucks relocated Embry-Riddle to Daytona Beach, and this is where it has been ever since. In 1970, 2 years after earning Southern Association of Colleges and Schools accreditation, the name was changed to Embry-Riddle Aeronautical University, and it has not stopped growing. With 2 residential campuses in Daytona Beach, Florida, and in Prescott, Arizona, the worldwide campus with over 100 locations in the United States, Europe, Asia, and online, this university, your university, continues to promote excellence in aviation, aerospace, and space. Like your alma mater, you have grown beyond where you started. We know that the journey that brought you here today is not one you have done alone. The faculty who have guided, mentored, and taught you from your first class to your capstone are here today in person to celebrate you. Distinguished faculty, please stand and be recognized. Thank you. Please be seated. The dedicated staff who helped and advised you mapping out your journey to today are also here to celebrate with you. Staff, please stand and be recognized. Please be seated. And finally, the most honored guests here today, your families and friends who have supported your journey on this path and are celebrating you today. Graduates, please stand and acknowledge your families for their support. Please be seated. At this time, it's my honor to welcome Dr. P. Barry Butler, University President, to the podium to officially open the commencement ceremony. Dr. Butler.
Thank you, Chancellor Watrette. Good morning, everyone. On behalf of the Board of Trustees of Embry-Riddle Aeronautical University, it is my pleasure to declare the 2025 commencement ceremony officially open. So welcome and congratulations. You'll hear that many times throughout the day. It's a tremendous achievement in your lives, students. You should take great pride in your accomplishments. Your friends and family members who have supported you along the way should obviously feel very proud as well. I am honored to help celebrate this shining victory, your graduation from Embry-Riddle Aeronautical University, the world's premier aviation and aerospace institution. As graduates of Embry-Riddle, you are joining an elite community of more than 150,000 alumni. Wherever life takes you from here, you can move forward a bright future with confidence, knowing that you can accomplish things you never imagined possible. Trust in your ability to succeed, and please call on each other when you need support. Remember that you will forever be an Embry-Riddle Eagle. Without further delay, it is my honor to now introduce a very special guest, Mr. Brent Wouters. Brent is a seasoned CEO known for revitalizing underperforming private equity portfolio companies and positioning them for accelerated growth and profitability. With extensive expertise in aviation, automotive manufacturing, software services, and distribution, he leads enterprise-wide transformations across brand technology, product, channel, and financial operations. His global experience spans commercial, R&D, manufacturing, and supply chain functions in over 60 countries. He transforms and grows companies using a combination of high-touch human interaction, remember that, and high-efficiency technological innovation to build what's known as a culture of belief. The culture of belief has been key to delivering rapid transformation and growth at aircraft manufacturer Cirrus Aircraft, hybrid electric luxury car company Karma Automotive, and adventure outdoor equipment company Iron Valley Supply. He serves now as the president and CEO of JetLinks, a private management and charter company that offers local personal service for its members and aircraft owners through a growing national network of private terminals. Brent received a Bachelor of Arts in Mathematics and Physics from Graceland University, magna cum laude, a Master of Science in Aerospace Engineering with an expertise in computational fluid dynamics and wind tunnel testing from Iowa State University, and a Master of Business Administration, Finance from Georgia State University. Brent speaks English, Spanish, and Dutch, holds a private pilot license, and enjoys mountain biking, hiking, fitness, and playing the piano. So now, please join me in welcoming our distinguished commencement speaker, Mr. Brent Wouters. Brent?
Let me acknowledge President Butler, Chancellor Watrette, Dr. Siegschlag, Dr. Marusek, and Dr. Sharma, as well as the other members of our platform party, the faculty, friends and families, and of course, our graduates. That's quite an introduction. First of all, I sound pretty great, don't I? It hasn't been that long ago that I was right where you are, at least in in the way I think about things. Look, I want to thank you for this opportunity, allowing me to speak today. This is a very big day for each of you. I remember this day quite well. It's a very big day for your families, for your friends, for all the people that have supported you. And it's a big day for me as well. And the reason it's a big day to me, in the last couple of days, I've been able to visit Embry-Riddle. And I've visited a lot of universities, particularly in the aviation space, but in a lot of other spaces as well. I've seen them all, but the opportunity to visit Embry-Riddle has been quite a joy. And as I say, save the best for last. So here we are. There's one message that I want you to hear today, and I tell you that Dr. Butler and I did not coordinate our messages today. But each one of you, when you think about what you take away from today, I hope you take away this message, that each one of you is capable of 10 times more than you can imagine. Each one of you can achieve extraordinary outcomes in your personal and professional growth, and I hope I can show you how in these next few minutes. I've had the good fortune, as Dr. Butler and President Butler mentioned, I've had the good fortune of working at a lot of great companies. Look, I started my career at Delta Airlines. I was a flight simulator engineer. Great company, great culture. They didn't need my help to make that happen. The reality is I enjoyed every minute of being both a flight simulator engineer and an aircraft engineer. I was able to join as an outsider, as a consultant to Lockheed Martin to help build the F-22 production line. I was able to then go and be an equity analyst on Wall Street and several other roles. But then I started to join more entrepreneurial companies, smaller companies that were striving for rapid growth and striving to become something more like these larger companies, the big successful companies that have been there. And these are companies like Cirrus Aircraft, Karma Automotive, and several others that, Iron Valley Supply, that President Butler mentioned. But interestingly, my phone doesn't ring these days when something is going perfectly well with companies. My phone tends to ring when a company needs special kind of help. They need to be reinvigorated. They're either stagnant or they're in decline, they're having financial difficulties, they're having operational difficulties, or all of the above. And so my job oftentimes is to take a company that is in a less attractive situation and move it into, help build a more solid foundation for the company and move it into growth mode. Now, I do this, unlike a lot of people that get involved with private equity, I do this over many years. I don't just come in and make changes and leave. I basically, if you will, eat my own cooking. When I build a foundation for a company, I live with it and grow it over years. Cirrus Aircraft was 10 years. Others were different periods of time. But the one thing I witnessed in each of these situations, when I was trying to create extraordinary outcomes and extraordinary growth, was that when we focused on the value proposition for a company and how that value proposition is delivered, the value delivery system, if you will, when we really zeroed in on what we were doing to help clients improve their lives or whatever our mission was, and we quickly tied that with helping employees understand the same thing and believe in the unique aspects of what brings clients to their companies, the company started to grow very quickly. The foundation became much more healthy. The outcomes that we were trying to achieve started to come to life. What we realized is, let's take an example like Cirrus Aircraft. When we got there, we were a lot of, we had an engineering mindset, a very strong engineering mindset. And sorry for all you engineers, but we were dumb engineers. We thought that it was about cool technology. It's not about cool technology. It's not about the airplane. It's about what the airplane can do for the clients. And we made this realization. That's when we changed the company into a more lifestyle-oriented product. But Underneath that, the success of Cirrus has come about for the last 22 years because we were able to build relationships, not only with customers and prospects on a much deeper level, but anticipate what customers wanted and build that sense of belief in the value that we were delivering to customers and build that sense of belief into the way we treated employees and the environment that we created to make them successful. And that environment is really important. Now, why do I tell you all this? Some of you may be building companies, some of you may be starting your careers at the beginning. But the reason I focus on these lessons that I've learned in reinvigorating companies is the same lessons that I've learned in igniting belief in employees and building toward extraordinary outcomes. Those same lessons can be used by each of you. And the most important ingredient in fixing and improving companies that I've noticed is that instilling that belief in your employee population and creating that environment that allows people the freedom to explore their own spark, to explore their own passions, to build their networks and learn from other people, and to empower them to make mistakes and try new things is essential. And that igniting belief in individuals, that's what leads to extraordinary outcomes. Emphasis on belief. Belief brings out the passion, the perseverance, and the versatility in every person. Now, I developed an approach around this. Now, as President Butler said, I like to call it the culture of belief. It has a huge number of aspects to it, but the part that's relevant to you today is I'm trying to ignite transformation in rapid growth in every one of these situations. If I'm going to ignite transformation in rapid growth, I need to empower people to achieve their unlimited potential. I need to create an environment where they can persevere through the inevitable challenges that are there. And finally, when we allow them to persevere, make mistakes, take risks, we do experience extraordinary growth over time. And the whole idea behind the culture of belief is to ignite belief in others and to have that belief reflected inside the organization, not only back to me to change how I lead the business, but to each other to change how we perform in the business. Now, my wife thinks the culture of belief is agreeing to ride with me in a car or an airplane because I can't get out of the garage without a GPS. But she thinks the culture of belief is really just a euphemism for wrong way wouters. I'm trying to figure out how to drive a company every day, and that's what she calls me. The culture of belief methodology is, as I said, it's got a lot of aspects to it around vision and around strategy, but this idea of instilling belief in those around you is equally applicable in your personal lives as it is in your professional lives. Just as it applies to employees and teams and enterprises, it applies to you individually as a person and your friends and family and your community. So whether you're building something and pursuing something personally or professionally, the key is igniting belief in others, igniting belief in yourself and igniting belief in others that multiplies and lifts you not only your own performance, but the collective performance. So let me see if I can impart a few lessons along those lines. So how do I ignite belief in others? How could you ignite belief in yourself and instill that in others? Belief isn't something that you're born with, that you simply have. Some of you are probably thinking, this person's more confident than me, they've got belief. I don't agree with that. Belief is a process of discovery. You build it over time. I was just like you. I was sitting in your chair and I was scared to death. What's next for me? I don't know what's next for me. When you're discovering belief, that starts with having an awareness of what the spark is for you. Now, some of you are way far ahead of me because you've already recognized a spark in your life, which is why you're at Embry-Riddle. It's why you're affiliated with aviation, aerospace, business, whatever it is you're focused on here, in this environment around space, around aerospace, around aviation, you've already recognized something that I didn't know at that time. But you don't need to know what you want to do. And you may think others do know what they want to do and they have this inherent confidence. No one does in reality. Some of you are just portraying it better than others. The reality is, we're all scared. We're all trying to figure out what's next. And I had no idea what I wanted to be. I had no idea where life was going to take me. Some argue I still don't have any idea what I'm doing, but you have no idea where life is going to take you either. Life involves too many unexpected twists and turns. You only need to do one thing to find your spark, to find what really motivates you. And that's to be aware of that visceral response you have when you when you encounter something that excites you. When you think about something that ignites your passion, respond to that hunch. Make your best guess at the time that that's something you want to pursue. Now, like I said, many of you have already done that. Well, my best guess was math and physics when I was sitting in your chair. But when I sat in your chair, I realized, what am I going to do now? Unlike Dr. Watret, I did not want to pursue a PhD or a master's in mathematics. I wanted to apply my technology and science capabilities in a much more active situation. So for me, I made the best guess to go after aerospace. That was my best guess. Did I know where it was going to take me? I had no idea. Later on, I made a similar guess after I had a young child, like some of you in the audience, and a family, to build my skills around finance, and we'll come back to that. What I did know is I did not want to do boring things, and what you're about to do is not boring, and that's one thing you can count on. My master's in aerospace, ultimately my MBA with a specialization in finance, all of those things opened a huge number of doors for me. And I was lucky enough to respond to my spark, to know what drove me, and take action, go in this case, to get my master's in aerospace, to follow that along. And the mere act of that has opened an enormous number of opportunities for me. For me, though, the power of aviation is its unique ability to connect all of us to our family, to our friends, to foreign locations, to languages, to cultures, to fascinating people, to life-changing experiences. I chose, out of my master's degree in aerospace, not to go after defense contractors and things like that, but to go after more aviation that was aligned with my interest. I wanted to see the world. I'm just a kid from Iowa. I wanted to go see what was around the world. And airplanes were my pathway to the world. Aviation in and itself is inherently global. That's where I wanted to be. If you think about it, why are airplane manufacturers, airlines, jet charter companies even in business? Because there's no substitute for being places in person. There's no substitute for meeting with employees, meeting with customers, meeting with prospects, meeting with suppliers in person. Experiencing the world in person. Each one of us can look at Netflix and see a program about Alaska, but that's not the same as going to Alaska, which, by the way, is my 50th state that I still haven't been to, so I'm determined to make that this year. But experiencing the world in person, connecting with family, friends, clients, prospects, companies, suppliers, soldiers, you need to be there in person. The experience is totally different. And connecting in person is really why aviation exists. Yeah, we move cargo around, but mostly we move people around, right? What you learn when you talk to other people and you think about yourself, and you learn about roles and professions and companies and industries, pay attention to your internal response, to find that, to follow your spark, to find your spark, to find those things that excite you. And it's not just today. Yeah, you've made at least one choice about aviation and aerospace or those kinds of things, but these keep coming up through your life. You need to be paying attention to those impulses and those internal signals about what gives you spark. If you want to create 10 times more personal and professional growth than you ever thought possible, you need to think about those pulses. Discover belief through others just the same. Not only are you thinking and encountering things yourself, but when you have experiences that involve other people, that really informs what you're focused on, what your spark is. When you talk to others, I talk to other people all the time. People are fascinating. I said, I really focus on in-person engagement in a company like Cirrus Aircraft or today, JetLinks. JetLinks, I visit all 22 cities where we have offices every 90 days, plus my other travel. Why? Because there's no substitute for being there. There's no substitute for me interacting with employees, clients, and prospects in person. I talk to almost everybody. I try to talk to as many people as I can. And some of the interesting things I find is if I ask a million questions, it's amazing what comes out of the conversations and the community that it builds inside our company. So I had 2 employees not long ago. I was in Washington, D.C. And we have 3 employees in that office, 2 of which were in the office that day. And 2 of the employees, I started asking them questions about, how they'd grown up. And I'd met them both before, so I knew them. But it was more questions because I've always got more questions. And I wanted to know about how they grew up. And one of the young ladies grew up in Peru. And so we started laughing about, making some joke, or I made something funny about alpacas. Well, the other young lady who grew up on Martha's Vineyard was an expert in alpacas. I didn't say the information was all useful, but I said, but it's fascinating. The point is, the young lady who grew up on Martha's Vineyard worked her entire youth at an alpaca farm that then produced alpaca sweaters. And the other young lady, of course, grew up her entire youth in Peru thinking about around alpacas. And the 2 of them worked together for a year and had no idea. And the point is, that's a silly example, but the point is when you start to think about engaging with other people, what they realize about themselves and what you realize maybe about yourself and about them takes on a much different meaning. It's much deeper connection. So find out what makes them tick. What is their passion? Learn about them and their background. Find out what they've been through. Ask about some hardships, right? Learn about their lives and their jobs in detail. Show interest in who they are. When I'm building a company, I use the same approach. I literally ask a million questions. I do people's jobs. I don't ask them about their jobs all the time. I do their jobs. Why? Because I'm trying to really understand what's going on in process and technology and in the decisions and the data that they have in the organization. But I also want to build a connection. I want to understand what they go through every day. How can I make decisions about people and processes and technology and data if I don't experience what they go through? So back to having that in-person experience, it's critical. When you unlock somebody else's passion, when you understand what they're going through, what they've been through, when you see the sparkle in their eyes or the distress in their voice, now you've made a connection that lasts. Now they'll be much more inclined and much more receptive to whatever it is you might want them to do. They'll become a trusted kind of confident, a trusted connection. And whether you're searching for personal or professional type of things, whether you're just learning about people, you also unlock a little bit more of your own passion. And then when they're receptive to your input and your concern and genuine interest in their lives, for you build instantly, you build friendships, you build community. And whether it's, if you're looking at networking for job purposes or you're just wanting to try to make new friends, whether it's your goals and objectives, these relationships teach you things and help you discover yourself as well as make a tighter connection with other people and unlock the keys to extraordinary growth in ways that you don't anticipate or may not know yet. So you need to follow your spark and be cognizant of those impulses that you have. You need to discover belief in others and have that reflected back on yourself. And you need to trust yourself and empower others. When I first had a leadership role, I thought, people would come to me and say, can we get approval to do this? Can we get approval to do that? Well, I hated that pretty quickly. I don't want people lined up outside my door. Well, that was just the first impulse of, I trust people. I'm going to give them the framework, let them go to town. Let's point them in the right direction and trust them to go take us where we need to go. There's a reason why in my case, why I hire people. There's a reason why you will be hired. It's because you bring value. You have a brain. I expect you to use it, and hopefully you can find an environment that allows you to use it. The world needs you and your skills and your passions, not someone who looks like you but acts like somebody else. So be yourself and let others be themselves. Bring energy to your vision and your inspiration. If you're a bump on a log, you're less interesting. People can sense your energy. You can be interested in them. You can learn about them, but you've got to bring energy every day. You need to bring energy. As you trust others, they can sense whether you really are behind them and supporting them. You can empower yourself and you can empower others to take actions. Nothing else matters. People will give you lots of reasons why they've done this or they've accomplished lots of things. Focus on actions. You want to cut through nonsense and find out whether people are really motivated? Watch their actions. Don't listen to their words. And I tell everybody, don't believe a thing I say, which is a bad time in this conversation to say that. But don't believe anything I say. Watch what I do. That's why I fly to 22 cities every 90 days. That's why I ask people about themselves. That's why I learn about them personally, understand what their strengths are professionally, understanding strengths and weaknesses of everybody, understanding my own strengths and weaknesses is a critical part of this. So trusting yourself and empowering others, taking action, is a critical component of this. And when you do this, you allow others to take risks. I set rules. I love rules. I hate rules. I've never followed a rule in my whole life. My mother will tell you. I've never followed a rule in my whole life. I tell people to break all the rules. I make the rules, break them all. And so HR doesn't really like me sometimes, but break the rules. Go for it. The downside is never as bad as you imagine. Encourage others to do the same. Be that person that frees up other people. When you free yourself and you free other people and allow them to fail, it's amazing what you get from people. Failure is fun. Okay, that's a lie. It's not fun, it's terrible. But the point is, that's when you learn. So free yourself up and free others to do the same. So after you trust yourself and you empower others, you need to continually expand your skills and experience. And I swear I did not talk to the Dean of Admissions or anybody here. You need to continually expand your skills and experience. It never ends. This is just the start. If you want to accomplish extraordinary things, personally or professionally, skills and experiences are your arsenal. They are the weapons that you need to respond when opportunity presents itself. And you don't know when that's going to happen. It's structured learning in some cases. Obviously, it's engineering, software development, information technology, all the stuff that I'm crazy enough to study, data analytics, finance, accounting, All those things. It can be structured learning. You need all of it. You need communications, you need law, you need history. How are you going to write about anything if you don't have history against which to put it in context? You need all of it. In fact, my wife is kind of afraid that I'll enroll in classes again today because I'm having so much fun. I love to learn, structured and unstructured. But the experiential learning is just as critical. You need every experience you can get. So how are you going to get every experience if you don't go for it? If you don't trust yourself, you don't empower others, and you don't dive in. To learn, you need to say yes to opportunities, which means you're going to have to be vulnerable. You're going to make mistakes, but who cares? I've made every mistake in the book, and I will tell you about them because I don't care that people think I made mistakes. Everyone's going to criticize, a lot of people are going to be critical of you anyway. Everyone's going to criticize. In my role, I get criticized all the time. Everyone will tell me how to run the business. They've never done it, and they're not doing it today. You know best. So tune the criticisms out. Make the best decision you can with the information and experience that you have at the time. Let it go and move on. Continually expand your skills, take risks, take on new structured learning and new experiences. And then, last but not least, build your network. And I talked a little bit about talking to other people and showing an interest in other people. Growing your personal network, beginning with family, friends, classmates, acquaintances. You've already got a lot of those friends. You look around the room today, you've got classmates, you've got some of which you're closer to than others. You've got friends, you have supporters, you have family, you have kids that are coming up behind you that are looking to you for inspiration. Ask people about their histories and experiences. Find out about the experiences and the knowledge that they gained and how they utilized that. Expand your network as you learn and meet new people that have interesting backgrounds that you're interested in. Talk to everyone. Now, yeah, I'm kind of the guy, I'm the father that talks to everybody in the elevator. Okay, I don't apologize for that. I love people, and so I'm going to ask about them. Talk to everyone. Find out what their perspectives are. You'd be surprised how much it broadens your own and how some assumptions that you made are totally different when you look at it from a different perspective. Your path to your desired destination is shaped through this larger community that you build. Your skills and experience are your tools to tackle the next challenge. And those challenges come from this broader network. I have never once found a job, discovered an opportunity, a volunteer opportunity or anything without knowing someone. I'm here today because I participated on a business board at Georgia State University, and the person that helped us in that environment now helps Chancellor Wattrett. I'm here because that was my connection. None of us have done anything in our lives, if you really think about it, without the help of others. In this world of every digital tool you can imagine, it's still who you know. It's still who you know and your network. So I mentioned a lot of things here, but let's see if I can't cap it off. Extraordinary things happen when you discover belief in yourself and you instill belief in others. Each one of you is capable of 10 times more than you ever imagined. You can achieve extraordinary things when you follow that spark that you found, both through yourself and through others. When you discover the fascination in others, when you really believe in other people, when you trust yourself and you empower others, when you continually expand your skills and your experience and you learn every single day, when you build your network of friends, fellow graduates, colleagues, professional connections. When I left this room, I didn't know a lot of my classmates. Don't make that mistake. You will see them all again. And you want to be have them as part of your network. Because some people in this room, not always the ones you think, are going to do incredible things. And you can learn from their experience. They're going to make all the mistakes you can learn from, and they're going to have all the successes. But when you build this community, whether you're inside a company, empowering people, and build igniting belief in employees, or whether you're doing it for your own community, for your own friends and support network, eventually you realize the extraordinary outcome, the achievement is the people. It is the personal network. It is the family and friends, the fellow graduates, the colleagues, the professional connections. These relationships are the extraordinary outcome that you're pursuing. Congratulations today. Good luck.
Brent, thank you so much. On behalf of Embry-Riddle Aeronautical University, we'd like to demonstrate our gratitude by presenting you with our Distinguished Speaker Award. Thank you so much.
Embry-Riddle's longtime support of the military is a point of pride. In fact, Embry-Riddle has received top ranking by U.S. News and World Reports for best online bachelor's degree programs for veterans for nearly a decade. Many graduates here today are veterans and active duty. Will they, and all members of the military and veterans who are here today, please stand to be recognized. Thank you for your sacrifice. Please be seated. Thank you. At this time, the faculty of Embry-Riddle Aeronautical University Worldwide are pleased to present the candidates for the graduate degrees. As we announce the master's degree candidates, you will see that they are wearing hoods which they received yesterday at a special hooding ceremony, reflecting their status as master's degree candidates. While all hoods have the Embry-Riddle school colors of royal blue and gold, the colors on the satin binding of the hoods are different. Each color distinguishes one college degree from another. From the College of Arts and Sciences, gold hoods denotes graduates earning the following degrees: Master's of Science in Emergency Services, Master's of Science in Human Factors, Master's of Science in Human Security and Resilience, and Master's of Science in Occupational Safety and Management. From the College of Aviation, silver hoods denotes graduates earning the following degrees: Masters of Aviation Cybersecurity, Masters of Aviation Maintenance, Masters of Science in Aeronautics, Masters of Science in Aviation and Aerospace Sustainability, Masters of Science in Aviation Safety, Masters of Science in Cybersecurity, Management and Policy, Masters of Science in Uncrewed and Autonomous Systems, Masters of Unmanned Systems, and Masters of Space Operations. Under the auspices of the College of Aviation, the School of Engineering is represented by orange hoods, denoting graduates earning Masters of Science in Aerospace Engineering, Masters of Science in Systems Engineering, Masters of Science in Uncrewed and Autonomous Systems Engineering, and Masters in Systems Engineering. From the College of Business, drab hoods denotes graduates earning the following degrees: Masters of Business in Administration of Aviation, Masters of Science in Engineering Management, Masters of Science in Information Security and Assurance, Masters of Science in Leadership, Masters of Science in Logistics and Supply Chain Management, Masters of Science in Management, Masters of Science in Management Information Systems, and Masters of Science in Project Management. Several graduates will be wearing gold medallions. These master's degree candidates are graduating with distinction as they have achieved a grade point average of 4.0 for the entirety of their program. Yes. As a group, will these students please stand and be recognized? Thank you. Please be seated. At this time, I would like to invite Dr. Alexander Cieslak, Dean for the College of Arts and Sciences, to come up to the podium.
Will the candidates for the master's degree from the College of Arts and Sciences please rise? President Butler, Chancellor Boutret. It is my honor to present the candidates for the College of Arts and Sciences master's degrees as recommended by faculty.
This begins the candidates for the degree of Master of Science in Emergency Services. Natasha Nazario Melendez. Stephanie Therese Spear. This begins the candidates for the degree of Master of Science in Human Factors. Paul Thomas DeSico, with distinction. Nicholas David Lisney. Gabriela Alexandra Giraldo. Jair Renee Mather, with distinction. This begins the candidates for the degree of Master of Science in Occupational Safety Management. Corey Cole. Susan Elizabeth Nitsch, with distinction. Renisha Latanya Powell. Miranda Rivera. Funmilayo Odun Sani, with distinction. Ian Edward Seckler, with distinction. This concludes the presentation of master's degrees from the College of Arts and Sciences.
At this time, I would like to invite Dr. Bettina Mursek, Dean for the College of Aviation, to come up to the podium.
Will the candidates for master's degrees from the College of Aviation please rise? Dr. Butler, Dr. Boutret, it is my honor to present the candidates for the College of Aviation master's degrees as recommended by the faculty.
This begins the candidates for the degree of Master of Aviation Cybersecurity. Mohammed Odunowo. Carlo Angelo Santos, with distinction. Arthur Delane Stevenson, with distinction. Samuel Lawrence Young, Jr. This begins the candidates for the degree of Master of Aviation Maintenance. Kim Oliveira, with distinction. This begins the candidates for the degree of Master of Science in Aeronautics. Zachary M. Bescher. Gil Bevan Flores, Jr., with distinction. Dallas Fitzgerald Boodoo. Juan Cuervo Ospina, with distinction. Marie Lynn Curia, with distinction. Matthew Ryan Dom, with distinction. Adam DeRoche. Angelica Espinal, with distinction. Douglas Wayne Graham, with distinction. Chonsong Han, with distinction. Jonathan Earl Hardnett. Juan Camilo Hernandez Clavijo, with distinction. Gabriel Hidalgo, with distinction. Yoel Howell, with distinction. Brian Paul Madera Andrade. Apibet Maniket Rumrion, with distinction. Sandeep Mani Raja Srinivasan. Terrence James McDonald, with distinction. Laurentia Denise Moskin. Demetris Mukendi, with distinction. Jennifer Cornell Pavone, with distinction. Bradley Urel Perez Hernandez. Manasa Prabhakar, with distinction. Natalie Lauren Ring, with distinction. Sergio Sarasti Rojas. Vincent J. Shebarasi. Hunter Paul Stonehouse, with distinction. Matthew Allen Terrell, with distinction. Samuel Robert Unsworth. Ian Vermelier. Shannon Scott Wilkins, with distinction. This begins the candidates for the degree of Master of Science in Aviation and Aerospace Sustainability. John Octavio Liu, with distinction. This begins the candidates for the degree of Master of Science in Aviation Safety. Robert Douglas Bancher, with distinction. Jared John Bodensteiner, with distinction. Jimmy James Brightson, with distinction. Kelvin Joel Hernandez Vega, with distinction. Kenyon Giles. Joel Willis Meckley. Susan Beth Moreno, with distinction. Jacob Riley O'Brien. Cody Johns Viba, with distinction. This begins the candidates for the degree of Master of Science in Uncrewed Systems. Kenneth C. Loesch, with distinction. This begins the candidates for the degree of Master of Science in Uncrewed and Autonomous Systems. Matthew Walter Drennan, with distinction. Kirsten Dale Figlow, with distinction. Raquel Carolina Oliva, with distinction. Isaiah Kweku Yancey. This begins the candidates for the degree of Master of Space Operations. Naika Baptiste, with distinction. Allison Hope Bosworth. Laura Elizabeth Campbell, with distinction. Mario Elizondo, with distinction. Sharif Abdullah Kadas Al-Ramethi, with distinction. Alexander Madera Matos. Michael Nashin, with distinction. Joshua Christian Tashiro Townley. This begins the candidates for the degree of Master of Science in Aerospace Engineering. Lauren Amanda Borowitz. Stephen David Fisher. Camille Marie Gilmer. Jeffrey Allen Ward. This begins the candidates for the degree of Master of Science in Airworthiness Engineering. Benjamin John Fraser. Calvin Smith, Jr., with distinction. This begins the candidates for the degree of Master of Science in Systems Engineering. Grant Emerson Ayasa. Shail Jitendra Amin, with distinction. Patrick David Anthony II. Michael Alexander Craig, with distinction. Christian Jacobs L., with distinction. Rasheen Main. Charles Gordon Stevenson IV. Ty Dylan Waller. Stephanie Carol Wilson. This begins the candidates for the degree of Master of Systems Engineering. John Benjamin Rauch, with distinction. Pauldelin Rashonda Ronco, with distinction. This concludes the presentation of master's degrees from the College of Aviation.
At this time, I invite Dr. Manish Sharma, Dean for the College of Business, to come to the podium.
Will the candidates for master's degrees from the College of Business please rise? Dr. Watret, it is my honor to present the candidates for the College of Business master's degrees as recommended by the faculty.
This begins the candidates for the degree of Master of Business Administration and Aviation, Abdullah Hesham Al-Ansari, with distinction. Cyan Lorraine Andino. Christian Oliver Aracena. Jason Daniel Clatworthy. Janam Celeste Coleman, with distinction. Michael William Dipsey. Ronald Benjamin Eisenman. Elisa Gabella Poisson. Adil M. Haig. Ileana Alexandra Catalanes. Sanivia Naveen Knight. Connie Marcelino. Janvi Mahendrabai Pathak. Rakshanda Rajkumar. Alexandria Nicole Trask. George Allen Zambrano. This begins the candidates for the degree of Master of Science in Engineering Management, Miguel Maglasong Hermoso. John Mark Lancaster, with distinction. Theodore Lee Roper II. Evelyn Sorto. This begins the candidates for the degree of Master of Science in Information Security and Assurance, Mark D. Holcomb. This begins the candidates for the degree of Master of Science in Leadership. Jordan Michelle Gines McGinnis, with distinction. Danielle Dawn Mason, with distinction. Bridget Nicole White, with distinction. This begins the candidates for the degree of Master of Science in Logistics and Supply Chain Management. Demetria Walker. Alicia Warthen, with distinction. This begins the candidates for the degree of Master of Science in Management. Richard L. Quaglio, Jr., with distinction. Jessica Rayo Dunbar, with distinction. Amanda Nicole Rosati. This begins the candidates for the degree of Master of Science in Management Information Systems. Sydney Marguerite Murphy, with distinction. Ryan Joseph Ibarra, with distinction. This begins the candidates for the degree of Master of Science in Project Management. Tazia Lynette Banks. Brianna Marie Bulwark. Laverne Angela Bowman, with distinction. Kubilai Jim Jalon. Erin Marie Jenkins, with distinction. Dwight Burnell Robinson, with distinction. Carlos Manuel Santiago, with distinction. Stephen Lowell Shivers, with distinction. Tricia Lynn Shivers, with distinction. Warren Nakia Singletary, Sr. Charles F. Woods III, with distinction. This concludes the presentation of master's degrees from the College of Business. This also concludes the presentation of master's degrees.
Congratulations to our master's degree candidates. Regarding the undergraduate degree candidates here today, you will notice that a number of them are wearing honor cords. The significance of these honor cords is directly connected to academic performance. Those graduates wearing white cords have achieved a grade point average between 3.5 and 3.69 and graduate cum laude with honors. As a group, will these students please stand and be recognized? Thank you. Please be seated. Those graduates who are wearing red cords have achieved a grade point average between 3.7 and 3.89 and graduate magna cum laude with great honors. As a group, will these students please stand and be recognized? Thank you. Please be seated. Those graduates who are wearing gold cords have achieved a grade point average between 3.9 and 4.0 and graduate summa cum laude with highest honors. As a group, will these students please stand and be recognized? Thank you. Please be seated. Dr. Cieslak, would you please come up to the podium to present the undergraduate candidates from the College of Arts and Sciences?
Will the candidates for bachelor's degrees from the College of Arts and Sciences please rise? Dr. Butler, Dr. Vitret, it is my honor to present the candidates for the College of Arts and Sciences bachelor's degrees as recommended by faculty.
This begins the candidates for the degree of Bachelor of Science in Communication. Maxwell Sempowski, magna cum laude. This begins the candidates for the degree of Bachelor of Science in Emergency Services. Jeremy Thomas Stinson. This begins the candidates for the degree of Bachelor of Science in Homeland Security. Manuel Peña, summa cum laude. Taylor Lynn Stoner, summa cum laude. This begins the candidates for the degree of Bachelor of Science in Interdisciplinary Studies. Valentina Nicole Catanella, magna cum laude. Zachary John Pruitt, summa cum laude. Alric John Bryan. Jonathan Stephen Campbell. Ashley Lynn Howard, summa cum laude, Alpha Sigma Lambda. This concludes the undergraduate degrees from the College of Arts and Sciences.
Dr. Mirosek, would you please come to the podium to present the undergraduate candidates from the College of Aviation?
Will the candidates for bachelor's and associate degrees from the College of Aviation please rise? Dr. Butler, Dr. Watret, it is my honor to present the candidates for the College of Aviation bachelor's and associate degrees as recommended by the faculty.
This begins the candidates for the degree of Bachelor of Science in Aeronautics. Mohammed Sami Salah Abdul Malik, summa cum laude, Alpha Sigma Lambda. Abdullahi Khalifa Abu Bakar. Danish Shafi bin Ali Amiruddin. Timothy Joseph Anise. Edgar Felipe Armenta Astamorir. Elias Samuel Arriaga, magna cum laude. Brandon Thomas Bassett, magna cum laude. Allison K. Benton. Jose Daniel Brenes Garita. Jean Marissa Julia Camille Brown, summa cum laude. Robin Elise Brown, magna cum laude. Bob Sangano Bujiquera, summa cum laude. Daniel Joseph Bush. Lilian Maria Caceres Malachowski, summa cum laude. Karif Campbell, cum laude. Zachary James Carroll, summa cum laude. Mark Antoine Castelling, cum laude. Sandra O. Sapero, magna cum laude. Linganath Chandra Sagaran, magna cum laude. Rafael Esteban Cifuentes Plata, summa cum laude, Alpha Sigma Lambda. Nicholas Colossos Sandoval, Alpha Sigma Lambda. Diego Alexander Conde Aguilar, cum laude. Giancarlos Cruzati Macias. Willie Nelson Cruzeta Nunez. Emmanuel Cuestas. Justin Patrick Dal Coletto, Alpha Sigma Lambda. Evan Buster Daniels. Diana Leonora de Montes. Cassandra P. Doran, cum laude. Darian Echeverry, magna cum laude. Jordan Frederick Lamar Fallhaber, magna cum laude. Babakar Faye. John D. Fenton. Troy McBride Finley Jr., summa cum laude. Leonardo Xavier Flores Vega, magna cum laude. Isaac Garcia, magna cum laude. Gonzalo Garcia Cruzet, summa cum laude. Christopher David Ganita, summa cum laude. Juan Daniel Gomez Cruz, cum laude. Sebastian L. Gutierrez, magna cum laude. Dominic Alex Harriet, summa cum laude. Maria Carolina Herrera Gaitan, magna cum laude, Alpha Sigma Lambda. Joshua Michael Horner II. Anissa Imtiaz, summa cum laude. Paul Andrew Johansson. David Thelson John Jr., summa cum laude. Tyreek Jones, cum laude. Gazim Kandu. Brandon Koharic. Jamad Tiandre LaFortune, cum laude. Francisco Ernesto Lara Gavilanes, magna cum laude. Caroline Bryn Leggett, Alpha Sigma Lambda. Alexi Antonio Lopez. Judith Lopez Chavez, cum laude. Artemio Jose Lopez Gonzalez. Andine Lisa Lord, magna cum laude, Alpha Sigma Lambda. Marcus Daniel Love, cum laude. Tariq Mohammed Al Saeed. Oscar David Marles Cruz, magna cum laude. Alexander Marrero Rivera, magna cum laude. Wyatt Glenn Maxwell, cum laude. Caitlin Brooke McClure. Colton Danny R. McCormick. Jeremy C. Midcap, magna cum laude, Alpha Sigma Lambda. Joseph Gordon Milburn, summa cum laude, Alpha Sigma Lambda. Lihi Moniz, summa cum laude. Javier Jesus Mora. Denny Morales Brochet. George Lewis Morgan, summa cum laude. Alex Logan Mosley, cum laude. David Nathaniel Moss. Miguel Angel Murillo. Tristan Reimert Nielsen, summa cum laude. Dhruv Notani, summa cum laude. Ji Min Oh. Kenny Olej, summa cum laude. Ricardo Javier Ontaneda Cuenca, summa cum laude. Julian Felipe Orozco. Joseph E. Pacheco Barnes. Caleb Andrew Ryan Palmer, magna cum laude. Juan Andres Perez Avila. Malik Kofi Primus. Eric Francisco Quinteros, summa cum laude. Aaron Gabriel Reyes Gutierrez, cum laude. Tyler James Ridgway. Eileen Xiomara Ron Mendoza. Valentina Salinas Ospina, summa cum laude. Brandon W. Scanlon. Bennett Schultz, magna cum laude. Jeffrey William Scott. Stephen Aaron Sherman. Jordan Elizabeth Chauvin, magna cum laude. Jaime Sequencia Sanchez, Alpha Sigma Lambda. James Jonathan Simpson, magna cum laude. Gunit Singh, cum laude. Jessica Elise Smith. Juan Pablo Solano Morales, summa cum laude. Giovanni Miguel Suarez Morales.
Thank you, sir.
Victor Suchi, magna cum laude. Elior Suiza. Anthony Sanchez Aguilera, magna cum laude. Emilio Terran Peralvo. Ryan Tu, summa cum laude. Hannah Danielle Thomas Sluter, summa cum laude, Alpha Sigma Lambda. Travis Paul Traha. Aiden Sullivan Trahern. Judith Victoria Tutsi, magna cum laude. J. Atul Upadhyay, summa cum laude. Mikel Uriana Guena. Marianne Louise Vasterly. Martin Verdesoto Cascante. Ronnie Viquez Leon, summa cum laude. Amir Breon Wells, cum laude, Alpha Sigma Lambda. Robert Wangler. Al E. Zarzur. This begins the candidates for the degree of Bachelor of Science in Aviation Maintenance. Muntasir Tageldin Abdelrahman, cum laude. Nikki P. Bowery, cum laude. Amber Bowman. Antonio Jesus Cedeno. Ava Jordan Davis Vanya, cum laude. Robert Hakazimana, Alpha Sigma Lambda. Lamario Donta McInnes. Jimmy L. Mygat, summa cum laude, Alpha Sigma Lambda. Jerusi Patsana Set Paisan. John Christopher Quarry, Alpha Sigma Lambda. Aaron Ritchie. Christopher Sable, magna cum laude, Alpha Sigma Lambda. Kyle Thompson, cum laude. Anthony Albert Wyzorik, magna cum laude, Alpha Sigma Lambda. This begins the candidates for the degree of Bachelor of Science in Pilot Operations. Benjamin Kobe Bressler, cum laude, Alpha Sigma Lambda. Madison James Hall. This begins the candidates for the degree of Bachelor of Science in Uncrewed Systems Applications. Haley Shaw Grace, summa cum laude, Alpha Sigma Lambda. Christina Yvette Medina. Miguel Angel Medina. This begins the candidates for the degree of Associate of Science in Aeronautics. Maxwell Amir Muniz. Stephen Rivera Cora. Pasika Pearl Robinson. Kenneth Shamarian Spencer Jr. Patrick Slate Tabor, Alpha Sigma Lambda. This begins the candidates for the degree of Bachelor of Science in Engineering. Timothy James Bergman, cum laude. Graham Christian Bishop. Andre Richard Dukes. Jasmine Kayla Espinal, cum laude, Alpha Sigma Lambda. Griffin William Kirkham. Guillermo Alvaro Morales, Jr. Gladyan Nazario, magna cum laude, Alpha Sigma Lambda. Ignacio Pedrosa Gelabert. Michael Shackelford. Joshua Shelton. David Yelansky. Jake. This begins the candidates for the degree of Bachelor of Science in Engineering Technology. J. Kyle Barger. Kendra Tatiana Blache, cum laude. James Paul J., cum laude. Lovepreet Kaur. Jose Luis Nieves de Jesus, magna cum laude. This begins the candidates for the degree of Associate of Science in Engineering Fundamentals. Joshua Roger Barrows. This concludes the undergraduate degrees from the College of Aviation.
Dr. Sharma, will you please come up to the podium to present the undergraduate candidates from the College of Business?
Will the candidates for bachelor's degrees from the College of Business please rise? Dr. Butler, Dr. Watret, Dr. Butler, Dr. Watret, it is my honor to present the candidates for the College of Business bachelor's degrees as recommended by faculty.
This begins the candidates for the degree of Bachelor of Science in Aviation Business Administration. Alan Barriga. Summa cum laude, Alpha Sigma Lambda. Radame Antonio Brito Jr., cum laude. Nicole Kim Serpak. Jonathan Clarence Ellis, summa cum laude. Jonathan Ray Everett, cum laude. Linda Ruth Flagg, summa cum laude, Alpha Sigma Lambda. Tanisha Gomes. Mahetab Adel Negam, cum laude, Alpha Sigma Lambda. Jason Scott Pierce, summa cum laude, Alpha Sigma Lambda. Aiden Christopher Rock Arnarson. Edgar Joel Torres Ortiz. This begins the candidates for the degree of Bachelor of Science in Business Analytics. Hayden M. Barry. Bradley A. Ferner, summa cum laude. Kaylee Alice Smith. This begins the candidates for the degree of Bachelor of Science in Leadership. John Everett Dovine IV. This begins the candidates for the degree of Bachelor of Science in Logistics and Supply Chain Management. Laura Ann Ballick, cum laude. Chanel Fields. Tavoy Davion Gillespie, summa cum laude. Denny Gonzalez Torres, magna cum laude, Alpha Sigma Lambda. Jonathan Q. Henry. Carly Laura Pavelski. Kenneth Xavier Rosario Rosado. Britt R. Schusler. Maria de la Luz Ciordia. Zaquan Amari Wood, cum laude. Ciele Paulin Yao, summa cum laude. This begins the candidates for the degree of Bachelor of Science in Project Management. David Michael Eugene Bennett, summa cum laude. Marshall Dean Brannick, magna cum laude. Joseph Keegan Cockerham, summa cum laude. Fabio Alejandro Flores, magna cum laude. Mason Haruska, summa cum laude. Cameron Lyle Kennedy Jeunesse. Joan Manuel Luyando, cum laude. Angel Kilder Martinez. Justin Alexander Partridge. Michael Anthony Reyes, Alpha Sigma Lambda. Brandon James Rode. This begins the candidates for the degree of Bachelor of Science in Technical Management. Todd Bosley, magna cum laude. Julio Roberto Castillo Zuluaga, cum laude. Adria Kale Davis, cum laude. Riley Grace Doyle. Daryl Dennis Fuentes Jr., Alpha Sigma Lambda. Artavius Bryson Nelson. Scott R. Protz, magna cum laude. Alberto Rios Rivera, magna cum laude. Emmanuel Rivera Diaz. Brian Anthony Scott. Zachary Tilley, summa cum laude, Alpha Sigma Lambda. This begins the candidates for the degree of Associate of Science in Aviation Business Administration. Juan Francisco Noles, Alpha Sigma Lambda. This begins the candidates for the degree of Associate of Science in Technical Management. Blake Bennett. Pebbles Hecht. This concludes the undergraduate degrees from the College of Business. This also concludes the presentation of undergraduate degrees.
Graduates, families, and guests, this is the moment we have all been waiting for. Dr. Butler, will you please join me at the podium? Dr. Butler, these candidates have completed all the requirements for associate and their degree programs. With the recommendation of the faculty of Embry-Riddle Aeronautical University, I'm pleased to present them to you for conferring of the degrees.
Thank you, Chancellor Watrette. We'll let our last graduates get back to their places. Very good. So graduates, by the authority vested in me by the Board of Trustees, I hereby confer upon you as appropriate the Master of Science degree, the Master's degree, the Bachelor of Science degree, and the Associate of Science degree with all rights, privileges, honors, and responsibilities appertaining thereto. Graduates, you may now move your tassel to the left side of your mortarboard, symbolizing your new status. Congratulations.
Ladies and gentlemen, please stand for the singing of Alma Mater by Ms. Lindsay Kaminsky.
Eagles gather near, we lift our voices loud and clear, soaring high, O Alma Mater, threads of blue and gold. United we soar in vast open skies. Embry-Riddle, we hail thee, great memories we'll hold. So here's to you, old ERAU, alma mater true. We pledge our love in harmony, our loyalty to you. Singing thy praise, remembering the days. Coast to coast around the world, our bond forever true. Embracing our dreams with pride far and wide. Embry-Riddle, we hail thee, great memories we'll hold. So here's to you, old ERAU, alma mater true. We pledge our love in harmony, our loyalty to you. Congratulations.
Thank you, Lindsay. We're delighted that all of you could be here today to share in this special occasion. Please remain standing as Reverend Keck offers the closing benediction.
For our benediction today, we're going to talk about alpacas. You remember the story Mr. Wouters told about the two women, one from Martha's Vineyard, one from Peru, I believe it was, who made a connection around alpacas. So we're going to talk about alpacas. Those of you who are wondering, alpacas at a benediction? Mr. Wouters also said it's okay to break the rules. It's okay to take risks and make mistakes. Of course, he also said not to believe everything he said. However, I'm igniting my passion for alpacas. I'm igniting my belief in myself. And if I do my job well, I may ignite your belief in yourself. So we are talking alpacas. So I'm thinking alpacas, like 1,000 years ago, are they the creatures carrying stuff over the Andes Mountains? And I'm going, are they the aviation industry of the ancient Andes? I'm going, this would be a good master's thesis for Worldwide. But then I'm thinking, is it the alpaca or the llama that does this work? And I don't really know. Alpaca, llama. And it gets me thinking, Dr. Wautret, President Butler, and what they said. Because they talked about eagles working together to achieve great things throughout history. So I can look up the alpaca-llama question on my phone. That doesn't do any good. I can find an answer. Instead, I can ask my fellow eagles, hey, do you know anything about alpacas? And regardless of whether we know anything about alpacas, soon, as Mr. Wouters pointed out, we're going to make a connection. We're going to make a connection around aviation, and we're going to brainstorm the solution to a technical problem. Someone's going to give someone else a sweetheart job, or maybe we're going to start a business together. All because of the alpacas. So, graduates, go with God's blessing. You have 10 times the potential you think you have. Remember to soar like the eagles that you are. And wherever you go, whoever you talk with, ask about alpacas. Let all God's children say, amen.
This concludes the commencement ceremony this morning. Family and friends, please be seated. We ask that you please remain seated until the platform party, faculty, and all graduates have exited. Thank you.